Hey, what is up people? Hailtothebreak here, and welcome back to Let's Play Trial Center New Blood. And we left off at the very beginning of the chapter 3. So without further ado folks, let's start this.
Wow, you assisted in an operation on your first day here? You must be good. No, it's the doctors who are good. Sounds like you work well with them. In my case, it depends on who I'm assisting. I get along with Dr. Everett, but Dr. Tsuji, on the other hand... Oh, forget I said anything. By the way, Ms. Newman, about the operating room's support system. Oh, call me Leslie. Everyone else does. Now, it's our responsibility as nurses to manage the support system. It'll probably take some time, but once you get used to it, you'll be able to update an E-chart in a snap. Want to give it a try in a vacant OR? I'd love to.
Regarding this new disease, which has tentatively been named Stigma, we received a report from the National Security Council and have begun an independent investigation. Its threat level is unknown, but I can say that the pathogen possesses astonishing mobility. It was unclear whether it even existed until now, but the Wilkins case put an end to the debate.
And we are basing that assumption on the testimony of our two new doctors, yes? Oh, pardon me. I'm Kanae Tsuji, a surgeon here. It's nice to meet you both.
You're absolutely correct, Kanae. While the information provided by Dr. Vaughn and Dr. Blaylock is highly reliable, our own investigation at Concordia also validates the theory. And it's worth noting, Professor Wilkins was conducting all the research on his own, without help from other doctors.
We spent less than a month there following our transfer from Alaska. But during that time, the professor seemed somewhat paranoid about an information leak.
To be honest, I'm surprised there was a leak, no matter how small.
The NSC never tells us their source of information. I bet the military is involved in it somehow.
Let's try to make do with the information we have at hand. At this point, the research can no longer be left exclusively to Wilkins. It's now the concern of our entire organization.
What?
Prior to your transfer here, we received reports of suspicious cases from various countries. We've already discussed those cases in a previous meeting. The pathogens in question were confused with various parasites, so nothing was conclusive. If any new cases occur, they should now be reported to Caduceus International.
It's unfortunate, though, that Professor Wilkins' data was destroyed, and by an unidentified assailant at that. Am I the only one here who feels uneasy about this?
We're hoping that the professor's still alive.
From now on, if any new cases of stigma arise here in the U.S., the patients will be transferred to this facility whenever possible. Both Health and Human Services and the National Security Council have agreed to this. The operating surgeons will be Dr. Vaughn and Dr. Blaylock. Their prior experience dealing with stigma will be invaluable. I personally stand behind them, 100%. The rest of you will be invited to witness their expertise very soon.
I look forward to seeing the infamous healing touch.
That was a little unexpected. What have we gotten ourselves into, Marcus? Were you as shocked as I was by what they already knew?
Not really. A doctor considers any and all possibilities.
Well, I, for one, am surprised. I had no idea there was data on stigma, other than what the professor had collected.
Well, we've got more important things to worry about. We're leaving for the tech department tomorrow morning at 8, right?
Yes, so don't be late.
All right, then I'm gonna go home and get some sleep.
Doctor, we just received an emergency request for help.
As always folks, someone's gonna get hurt.
What happened?
There was a big accident on the freeway. More than 30 people are in serious condition. The request came from the state hospital.
Now I feel right at home.
Oh, it's one of those.
Elena, can you let them know that we'll accept the patients?
Folks. Oh, is it? I don't know. There was a few missions in these games where you gotta like treat several patients right after the other one. I think it's one of those, but I could be wrong. Because my memory ain't so great. Funny enough, I can remember a bunch of shit about random mathematical stuff and crap like that, but I can't remember stuff like that. You know.
No eye response, incoherent speech, decerebrate posture. E1, V3, M2. He's under 8 on the Glasgow Coma Scale. He's in critical condition. The patient has taken considerable damage to the right half of his body, and his lungs may be at risk.
He's definitely in bad shape.
The exact locations of his injuries are difficult to determine right now. His vitals aren't stable either. Please hurry, but be careful.
There's no time to lose. Let's begin immediately.
Wish I had a coin slip here, but I'm gonna go for Marcus.
Okay, let's get started.
Seriously, 30%, that crash must be pretty damn big.
Beginning the operation. The patient's condition has worsened since his begin by treating the external wounds.
Now let's not fuck this up, please. Shake hands. I knew it.
The external wounds have been treated, but I assume that let's open them up and begin treating his internal organs.
Playing this game when you don't have that much stable hands doesn't actually help
I'm
at
confirming
all.
interior wounds and the presence of. Let's keep an eye on his vitals and treat everything we. This wound can't be sutured.
I know.
You need to use the hold one side of the
I love how the game
quickly
actually helps
before
you a
the
lot,
wound
because
will
sometimes
open
you
again.
really don't know what to do, so the game is nice that they tell you pretty much what to do. The only problem I got with that is that sometimes you try to do stuff and they just be like, oh, you need to suture this. Well, I already did, so I already know.
Vitals are dropping. One side of the wound with the forceps.
Dumbass.
That's the worst
Dumbass
of
that
the
I am.
wounds. Please begin treating the others.
That should do it for this area.
Use the magnification tool to change where we're looking.
If I'm
There
right,
should
there's
be
a
other
lung
injuries
injuries.
nearby.
See the vitals, how fast they drop? It's when you get a shit of injuries like that, the vitals will go down fast. So it's always recommended that you actually take care of the vitals before going in and start operating on these guys. Yeah, getting lots of heads on these ones. Not gonna lie, folks, never really good
Drain the
at
pools of
suturing.
blood.
Yep. There you go.
A hemorrhage has formed. Use the antibiotic gel to treat it.
No. Like I said, it's pretty in the fact they remind you what to do all the time.
Tore open into a
But
laceration.
on the other time, it's a bit annoying sometimes because, like I said, well, mostly when they stop you from actually doing anything. It's not that bad when it's just like they randomly tell you what to do again.
Vitals are stabilized.
Well, that was pretty easy. Except
Alright,
I fucked
let's
up like
close 'em up.
randomly. My main weakness for this game is I tend to actually do really stupid mistakes at some points.
Operate.
I really gotta raise the difficulty.
That was the last of the patients. The three of you can wrap things up now.
All right. Thanks, Leslie.
That was very impressive. If you don't mind, I'd like to assist you again sometime.
It's 3 a.m. Man, talk about a long day.
Well, this is what you wanted, right? To continue seeing patients.
Yeah, I guess that's the life of a doctor, no matter where you are. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, bright and early.
Hey, don't worry. If we can survive in Alaska, we can survive anywhere.
Okay, next one.
So, I have a new job for you. But first, let me introduce you to our head of research.
Hello, my name is Dr. Robert Cromwell. Dr. Blaylock and Dr. Vaughn, I presume. It's nice to meet you. You must be busy adapting to Caduceus, as well as the newly established team. But the director recommended you two, so I would appreciate your assistance.
It's nice to meet you too. It would be our pleasure to help.
Good. I'd like you to participate in clinical testing under the supervision of the research lab.
Let me remind you that it is the duty of those in the medical field to not only cure patients, but to also research and pioneer new treatments. Doctors and researchers must work together to fight diseases both present and future. That's the purpose of Caduceus. There may be some interesting characters here, but they're all excellent doctors. I consider myself very fortunate to be able to conduct medical research among them. And on top of that, we now have the assistance of two truly gifted doctors with the healing touch. I firmly believe that with your precision, the data we'll be able to collect will be invaluable. That is why I'm so enthusiastic about your surgical skills. You don't have any objections, do you?
I appreciate your vote of confidence, even if it is a bit exaggerated.
He's a dedicated professional, although he tends to be long-winded.
Now then, there's an operation I'd like the two of you to perform. The research you're contributing to will give new hope to heart disease patients everywhere. I'll explain as I show you my lab. It's true that many people frown upon our astronomical research budget. Mostly journalists and politicians who are trying to make a name for themselves. You know how difficult it is to produce significant results when conducting revolutionary research. But thankfully, we also have generous supporters such as...
Oh, Dr. Cromwell, you have friends with you today. Would you introduce me? Pretty please.
Isabella. You really should start acting more professional. This is Ms. Vasquez. She's a representative of the Humani Corporation.
I'm Dr. Blaylock.
Dr. Vaughn.
Nice to meet you, handsome.
We're partnered with a number of large pharmaceutical companies and medical manufacturers, including Humani, who've been a tremendous help to us.
I hope my looks don't give you the wrong impression about our company. Humani is a major player in this industry, and I've been known to play hardball when needed.
Humani holds several lucrative pharmaceutical patents and leads the way in regenerative medicine.
Well, if there's anything I can do for you, just let me know.
We have a research specialist from Humani on staff as well. She's a very talented young woman and has produced great results. I believe she's nearby. Cynthia, can you spare a moment?
I'll go get her, Dr. Cromwell.
Thank you. I'd appreciate it. The operation that you'll be performing would not be possible without her help.
Yes, Dr. Cromwell? Oh, that's right. You said you'd introduce me to the doctors today.
This is Cynthia Kazakov. She's a beautiful woman, as you can see, and quite brilliant.
Cynthia Kazakov? You wouldn't happen to be from Trinity Medical School, would you?
Valerie? Valerie Blaylock?
Yeah, it's me.
You became a doctor! Congratulations!
Thanks. Wow, I never expected to see you here, of all places.
You're going to be helping us? This is great!
I'm Marcus Vaughn. Sorry to interrupt such a touching reunion.
Nice to meet you, Doctor.
So, you two are old friends. I have a feeling this will be a fruitful partnership. Now, Cynthia, can you explain to them about the cardiac patch?
Allow me to explain the details of the operation, as well as the usage of the myocardium patch. Our patient is a 10-year-old girl with an occlusion in her heart. Her heart functions are deteriorating. If this continues, she'll have a myocardial infarction.
That's where the myocardial patch comes in.
I don't know much about it. It's a form of synthetic membrane, correct?
Yes, it's a new type of synthetic membrane that uses the whole cell voltage clamp. The membrane itself is elastic and helps the heart move and function.
That's amazing! It truly is a miracle of science.
It's only as incredible as the skills of the people using it.
Nothing like a little pressure. I don't mind, though. It motivates me.
We'll do our best, of course. I can promise you that.
I'm glad to hear it.
So, we'll be applying this myocardial patch by positioning it according to the guide. Is that this operation's objective?
Yes, that's correct. This operation will be performed without stopping her heart. But I have faith in Caduceus, and in all of you.
Okay. I remember this one.
Ready to begin the operation.
It can be a bit tricky, but you'll see why.
Let's begin the... We'll be operating on the heart. Please open her up. Let's confirm the 3 areas of occlusion have been located. Follow the guide. And if the myocardium patch isn't placed correctly,
Yeah,
the
you
patient
gotta
will
be careful
undergo
here,
cardiac
because
arrest.
you fail a
Be
shot
careful.
and you get cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrests don't really mean death, because they're usually pretty easy to deal with. They're just annoying.
Start by applying antibiotic gel to the
But I think I
occlusion
already
areas.
yelled about a bit too
First
much about those.
myocardium patch. Carefully match the location and angle of the patch with a pattern on the heart. The myocardium patch, her heart rate, there's a possibility that the already weak. If you find a hemorrhage, treat it with the. Here's the next occlusion area. Let's continue the operation. What? The guide moved?
Now it gets fun.
Does this mean that we'll have to apply the patch?
Oh,
when
yeah.
The size of the guide
Yes,
matches
really
the size of
fun.
the patch. The second occlusion area has been treated. One more. Her heart rate is increased. Be careful when placing the patch.
You can use
Watch
Vaughn
your
here.
timing.
Vaughn's healing touch here is really useful. I'm gonna wait until it turns again.
Myocardium
Because
patches have been
Vaughn's
placed. Let's
stuff
treat them
really
all.
slowed the guy down a lot, so he can
Please put the
easily
patches
deal
and
with
begin
it.
synchronizing with the myocardium's, and her heart rate is returning to. She should be all right now.
But
Please close her up.
I'm not a big fan of the healing touch, because that's really like cheating. It's just that. Yeah, but again, it's just that I don't know. Usually don't think about using them most of the time, even though here it would have been very useful.
We're finished.
Could probably gonna got an S if I wasn't that slow in the last one, because there was a hemorrhage. You know, a blood pool.
That was a flawless operation. Simply perfect. The patch is sure to integrate with the existing tissue. The patient should recover nicely.
I think we'll see excellent results, Valerie.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing more operations like this one.
Well, we wouldn't want to take up all of your time. The director has already spoken to us regarding the research on stigma. We're currently in the planning stages. In time, we'll show you what we're capable of. Right, Cynthia?
Yes, Dr. Cromwell.
Well, folks, you know what, folks? I feel like the two last ones were pretty damn small. So here's a special treat today: free operation one video.
The NIH has received a request for help from a hospital in Texas. They're having difficulty with the diagnosis. Based on the patient's chart, there's a good chance that it's stigma.
So this is what we're dealing with,
These two pictures were taken only a few hours apart. Look how far the focus has shifted. And its size has increased drastically.
A biopsy was attempted, but they were unable to obtain a sample of the pathogen. The patient will arrive in roughly 3 hours. Vaughn and Blaylock will be performing the surgery.
We'll check the patient's condition upon her arrival and then proceed with the operation.
We're treading on unknown territory, so we'd appreciate your support, Dr. Tsuji.
I highly doubt that you two will need my help, but I'll get ready nonetheless.
The patient's vitals are stable. Blood pressure 110/60, heart rate 60 beats per minute.
Any case history?
She was involved in an accident 2 months ago. Laceration on the right thigh. Looks like they used artificial blood for transfusion. Q-heme blood from Syntec Labs, to be exact.
Are there any contraindications?
None that I'm aware of, but can you check with them just in case?
Will do.
The affected area is the liver. The course of treatment will be determined during the procedure. However, I have a feeling this will be different than the professor's case.
Even so, I'm sure our experience with stigma will prove invaluable. Let's stay positive.
New strain, guys.
According to the test results, this stigma is completely different from the one we saw before. There are some similarities, though, such as high mobility.
It tries every conceivable method to make its victims suffer. It's like a nightmare.
If it is stigma, then there must be a core somewhere, even if it looks different. If we can find and attack it, we may be able to identify the key to stopping it.
A core. Now that you mention it, there was something in the report about that.
That's right. We saw something like a core when we were operating on Professor Wilkins.
I'm surprised you remember, Marcus.
Call it a hunch.
A hunch? Well, at least we have some hope of defeating it now.
I'll be praying that I don't have to get involved.
It's haunting me. Wherever I go.
Dr. Vaughn?
It's nothing. Let's end this nightmare.
I'm gonna use Vaughn for just for the sake of story-wise here.
Okay, let's begin.
The exact nature of this stigma and the...
We'll just have to open her up and observe it for ourselves.
Yep. Hope it's not the one I'm hearing. No, it's not. It's just one.
Stigma confirmed. It's much larger than before.
That must be its core.
We can't do anything to it since the core has enveloped itself within this. The tissue itself looks highly viscous.
Good job. The amount...
Okay, then let's continue this and drag the core out.
The core's been exposed. Use the laser to incinerate it. It's working.
Laser and drain. So it's gonna be your best friend here.
The core's...
Is this a tumor? Let's burn it with the laser.
Come on.
There is still tissue left inside the patient. Please drain it.
Here 2 players is a blessing. Because one can take care of all the bullcrap that this guy is attacking with, while the other one can just focus on killing the thingy itself.
Just a little more.
Did it split up?
The core has to be in one of them. Use the drain to find it.
More of the tissue has been created. Drain it immediately.
Yep, starts getting rough when those two comes in. Yes!
No presence of stigma can be detected.
Ooh, that was actually a perfect shot.
That was an amazing operation. Let's close
Damn
her up.
straight
and
it
be
was.
finished.
Ooh. I love the Stigma fights because
You were able to deal with
they
it.
put the stress a little bit up.
I hope this is the last time we have to perform an operation in the dark.
Probably because of the music and all that stuff. But hey, I like them.
We're finished. Great work, everyone.
This game is all about multitasking.
Stigma's mobility far exceeded our expectations.
You all did a great job treating it. I'm glad you're with us.
Would you expect any less from Caduceus' own special disease counteraction team?
We'll hold a conference on this case of stigma within the next few days. Of course, I'll need you to speak regarding today's operation and the patient's progress. Your report will also be forwarded to Health and Human Services, so please get started immediately.
Just give me a strong cup of joe, and I'll crank it out.
Good. You know, there was no way we could have anticipated Stigma's metamorphosis. I was amazed at how well you adapted. I know you have the healing touch, but even so...
I guess I'm just lucky.
Well, folks, when we come back, more stuff. More Stigma and all the crap. I don't know if this next one is Stigma, but we're gonna get more. Don't worry. Anyhow, folks, with Hailtothebreak here, sign off.